What's happening?
Okay, welcome to the channel. This setting looks a little bit differently and we're doing something a little different today, and Mark doesn't even know what we're doing. So some of you that watch the channel know that often I like to be very prepared and have a plan for what we're going to teach. But today I wanted to teach and talk about something that one of you responded to our newsletter about and thought it would make for a really great topic and thought it would be a good moment to put Mark on the spot. So shout out to HG for his email to me about how to shoot black and white photography.
Ooh.
So first reaction, black and white photography, love it, hate it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like it in certain instances. Most of the time I like color, but for the certain scene, it really can simplify things in a way that allows you to really hone in on like the core message.
And so what is it that you like about color?
I mean, I see the world in color, and obviously we like nature, we like being outside, we, appreciate the dynamic color of sunrise, sunset, and all of those times when you get dramatic light that really illuminates the color of a scene.
Well, and we'll use color to make our subject pop. Like we'll have people wear bright colors so that they stand out.
Yeah.
Or we'll use color in foreground, like flowers in the foreground, and that color pops. So what happens when we don't have that color? Like, how do I learn how to see the world in black and white when I see the world in color when I'm going to shoot black and white photo?
Sometimes people encourage you to shoot black and white because it allows you to focus on where the light is, and it allows you to see things in a different way. So you can turn your camera onto black and white mode, and even though you're taking potentially a raw photo that's going to have color, if you view it as a black and white, you can really learn highlights, shadows. It really focuses on the light of a scene, whereas it can be easy to be distracted by like, oh, look at those beautiful, flowers or trees or the blue sky. Whereas if you go strictly to black and white, everything just has a brightness value or a tonal value where you see things in a different way.
Okay, so let's go back for a second. You started to talk about like camera setup. So if you're going to shoot black and white, you can put your camera in the monochromatic mode.
Yes.
And is there anything else you would have us do from a camera settings standpoint when we're shooting in black and white, like a technical standpoint?
Yeah, I think making sure you have your brightness set appropriately and just know the dynamic range of your sensor. Have a sense for it so that you don't over or underexpose things.
Are you more concerned about exposing for the highlights or not over? What would you weight towards?
Yeah, I think in the past I would have said make sure you preserve the highlights, but honestly, if you have a modern camera, there's so much dynamic range that you can get in a file. Like you can pull back the highlights. If your sky is like nuclear white, like it's not coming back, but there is still a fair amount of detail in the shadows and the highlights. Typically it can create a little more noise in the shadows if you underexpose those and try to bring them up, but the highlights will just be gone if you overexpose them and there's no bringing them back.
So talking about noise then, are we more concerned about ISO when we're shooting black and white than we would be if we were shooting color? Like, is that noise going to be more noticeable in black and white?
I mean, potentially. The color noise is not going to be there, but that's still like that digital grainy type noise might be there. But the color noise gets eliminated when you shoot in black and white, which is nice if you're shooting, like when we used to do weddings, we would shoot high ISO on the dance floor or late into the evening, and often we would convert those to black and white, especially when we were using older cameras, because it eliminates that like weird digital noise color. And so if you just have like that grain, and some people even add like a film grain preset to kind of cover that up and make it look more natural. It never really bothered me that much, but it can be a way to not have to deal with that.
You know, you bring up weddings. I also think that like a lot of our getting ready photos, we would convert some of those to black and white because the color was just distracting.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you convert something to black and white, it makes people pop more because, you know, depending on their skin tone, obviously, you know, when you eliminate the color, people's eye tends to gravitate towards a person's face. And depending on their skin tone, that might stand out more from the backdrop. And you can also manipulate the colors and not necessarily like you would in a color photo, but you can change the luminance on certain colors. So if there's like a big, you know, red wall behind them, you can just turn down the red channel in terms of luminance and it dims that in the photo. So it allows you to emphasize different things more easily if you convert something to black and white.
Which is a reason that we're shooting in RAW so that it still has the color data, so that maybe we want to use the color. Even if we turn the photo on the monochromatic mode so that it looks like we're taking black and white photos, it's going to preserve that color data so that if, like you said, there's a red or certain tones, you can still play with the tones individually in the black and white photo.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, some people are going to shoot JPEG just because that's their style, but most people are going to shoot RAW. And you can apply that camera preset in Lightroom or whatever editing software you're utilizing, and it will give it that monochromatic look that you saw in camera, but it's not baked in, so it's not permanently black and white if you ever want to go back to color, or it gives you that more control in editing.
Okay, so when we go out to shoot a black and white photo, what are we looking for? It sounds like contrast is important. What else would you say you want to look for that makes black and white photography interesting?
Yeah, I think it really simplifies scenes. It can take away some of like the timeliness of things. It makes things look more timeless because, you know, certain colors are distracting and popular, whereas if you go black and white, it can simplify things. Also, I think looking for compositional challenges like a bright subject on a light backdrop, or how shadows are hitting a scene or a street or any setting, it really emphasizes the light more than the scene, I guess.
Well, I also think that there's some textures that look really good in black and white, like
Yes.
maybe like a wood grain, or even, you know, like this. There's different tones in the couch that are more in your face when it's in black and white.
Yeah, it really, when you simplify the scene, your eye can gravitate towards like textures and patterns that really start to come off the page in terms of a printed photo.
Well, I think one of the interesting things that you said is when Mark was talking about shooting black and white, helping us learn how to see like photographers in general, because it simplifies what it is that we're looking at. When we look at a scene, we're looking at the color, we're looking at the light, we're looking at compositional elements, we're looking at the subject, the mood, whatever. And if you take away color as a crutch or as a tool, maybe it's not a crutch, but like, you know, take it away as a crutch, then now I have to utilize light and texture because I can't use color. And so that constraint in shooting black and white will then also help with your color photography as well.
Yeah, I mean, it can be like any other creative challenge, whether it's shooting with one lens or picking a certain subject and focusing specifically on that. Like going out and shooting black and white photos can be a creative constraint.
And when you first started in photography with your like film camera back in the day, were you shooting in black and white then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they still do this, but most high school photo classes, when, you know, you shoot film, you shoot black and white film, I think partly because it's cheaper, easier to develop. It's a little, you know, simpler in terms of that film process, but I think it also gets to kind of the core and originality of photographs, where things began.
Yeah, I mean, I am like you, I love color, and you'll see most of our photos are gonna be bright, beautiful sunrises, sunsets, nature. But when I'm looking at photography and I see a really moody, emotional black and white photo, like I know some of those photos wouldn't be as impactful in color. Like they are impactful because they are focused on the light or they're focused on the mood.
Yeah, I think where it really shines is when you've got portraits or people in the scene, like street photography. I don't know, somehow it just feels, like I said, more timeless, but also kind of dramatic and gritty when you turn it to black and white. Landscapes, I tend to think look better in color because that's how I see them, but you know, you go back to the classics like Ansel Adams, you know, he photographed things in black and white, and even somebody like Galen Rowell who photographed things mostly in color, you know, occasionally you see a scene where you're like, oh, that would work really well in black and white.
Absolutely. All right, let me check, see if I had any other notes or things I wanted to ask you about. I think we nailed it. This is our ability to improv, I guess. I think I just want to summarize what we talked about, pros and cons of shooting black and white.
Yeah, I think there's not really any cons if you shoot in RAW, because you can always bring that color data back. But I think the pros are that it forces you to focus on light, forces you to have a creative constraint, which can really help you improve your skills. And it's just a fun challenge. So there's joy.
Yeah, I think I would just add that it eliminates distractions. If there's distracting colors behind you, you can eliminate that by having it be black and white and really draw the focus, like you said earlier, to the subject and their face. Okay, so that's pros and cons. And then I just want to review like how to shoot, main tips. You go out there and we said, put your camera on the monochromatic mode so that you're seeing the scene through black and white.
Yep.
And then look for those high contrast areas like bright subject on a dark background or cool side light angles, cool textures.
Yeah, the transition point between where there is shadow and there is light. So putting your camera right in that transition point where you see the sun coming out from behind something or a light source coming out from behind something.
So it feels like light. Learning to shoot in black and white is learning to see light.
Yes.
But maybe also texture.
Yeah, light, texture, and then all your compositional tips always apply.
Compositional tips always apply. Write that down. Well, thanks so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts on this style of video, and maybe we'll do more of it.
Yeah, we'll see. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out, supports the channel, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Make sure you check out our How to Shoot field guide, where we talk a lot about learning to see like a photographer. And thanks again to HG for this idea for this video today. See you soon.